Another example, please. The next slide. Next slide, please. Do I have something that I can use? And let's go one more, because I don't think this one's thought out that well. Military sphere. Again, unfortunately, this is historically we look at human existence. Military sphere is part of human existence. If we think about separation of technology and human existence here, we have explosive and projectile forces. A lot of military warfare entails that. As we have the technology coupled more with human existence, again, I think of things like combat helicopters, things where the technology and the human itself are coupled in a way. The technology in the case of, for example, combat helicopters, providing humans with maneuverability and ability to defend and attack, etc. Integration, where we're seeing examples of combat drones, in a sense, kind of like robot planes or robot soldiers who go out and do battle on our behalf. As I try to think, just sort of, at least conceptually, about what does it mean to have the ultimate convergence in this case, I think it's pressing Object File Delete. And next sphere, please. The next. Managerial sphere. Here I think what we have is, again, separation monitoring equipment as we talk about the managerial role, kind of separation, but with coupling more in terms of evaluative algorithms. Integration, computer-aided design is an example of that. And convergence, I see where we begin, if we can imagine tools that actually conceive and realize the managerial objectives. Next sphere, please. Social sphere. What does it mean in the social sphere of human existence to have human technology, the nature of its interface with human beings? In separation, we have things like message conveyance. Part of our social existence is communicating. And so message conveyance is part of that. We have a technology that provides this message conveyance. A coupling of technology with human existence here is, for example, mobile phones, Skype, so that we can, the technology of our social existence is coupled to us through these handheld devices. Integration of technology and human existence in the social sphere includes things that we're seeing such as Facebook, or what I would call social nets, or what are called social nets, where the technology is helping to actually becoming an integral part of our social networks. So what would, if we think ahead to what ultimate convergence might imply, what might it be? And here I've used the term social operating systems. Next sphere, please. In the transportation sphere, again, this part of mobility is an important part of human existence. So we have separation of technology from human beings, we have bulk conveyance, whether it's bulk of goods or bulk of people, and we have this mass conveyance. As the technology and humans become more closely coupled in the sphere of transportation, we have examples of automobiles, where we have automobility that is made possible through this kind of technology. As we have further integration, I think the fit between the humans and the technology that is providing us mobility becomes smoother and smoother. So I think of things like these segways, where they're where there's a very kind of intimate kind of link between the technology and the humans in terms of movement. And what, again, if we think forward to what might ultimate convergence mean, convergence between the technology and human existence, I think of it as perhaps transconstitution, where we recreate ourselves someplace else. Next slide, please. And education sphere here, again, technology, education, learning is a vital part of being human. When the technology is separated from humans, how does that take place here? Well, we have information conveyance devices, such as this, right? Where we have coupling of the technology to the humans in the sphere of education. We begin to have knowledge acquisition tools. As we get further integration between humans and technology there, we have inquiring systems, a term that is used by West Churchmen, the former West Churchmen. And what does it mean to have ultimate convergence? I think in effect it's having Turing interlocutors. So the Alan Turing test of human intelligence, where you're not able to distinguish whether you're talking to a computer or a human being. So in the next sphere, please. Climate control. What is separation between the technology and humans in the way of climate control? Well, we have space heaters. Coupling. There we're beginning to link more closely. Thermostatic controls. Integration. Smart clothing. Convergence. Programmable skins. Next spheres, please. Communication sphere. Again, fixed point message convergence. Coupling. Mobile devices and Skype, as we've seen also in the earlier case of social. Integration, video conferencing. Convergence, in terms of communication, is essentially thought mail. So those are just some examples as I try to think about what are some aspects of human existence, and how might we think about different extent of coupling or separation or integration between humans and technology and all of those. And so we've looked at all of these, and I'm particularly interested in what convergence might mean. And here I've just reproduced some of those last items. So here are these different items about convergence. And so it raises the question, is there any kind of overall nature, any overall quality here that we see in these convergence items? And the last slide, I believe. Second to last slide. So asking whether across all of these different realms that we have looked at, whether there is in fact some kind of convergence that is part of the larger narrative, if indeed there is one, of the relationships between humans and technology. And now the last slide. So the speculation here is that this convergence is in fact that there are two aspects of it. That one is an infusive aspect and one is an expansive nature. That on the one hand, technology is coming right into us. But on the other hand, technology is allowing us to come out of ourselves, to expand and extend ourselves. And both of these things are happening simultaneously across that whole range of spheres of human existence that we looked at. But where will this lead? And I don't know. But one thing that I wonder about is thinking about what happens when any one of us or anybody else has the capacity to, in effect, download explosive, destructive force with the press of a keyboard. And it's almost horrifying to imagine, but it's almost impossible to imagine that it won't be possible at some point, as we see the technology leading us this way. And so that's an example of all of us having this sort of ability to sort of extend or even explode ourselves infinitely with just the easy access of technology. And then an example of the countervailing invasive aspect of it is that as societies, we presumably have, if there's any mandate for society collectively, and so it's a very scary thought, and it's not one I like to leave you with, but as I look at this question of where is the technology going, it's one that I think is representative of the kind of challenges that we face as we go forward. Must increasingly explosive threats be countered with commensurately invasive monitoring? And of whom? By whom? Those, I think, are open questions. So thank you for your attentiveness.